What if the universe is not a cold expanse of stars and matter, but a vast conscious mind? This idea, once confined to ancient philosophy and mysticism, is now being explored by leading quantum physicists. The question has shifted from, does the universe have meaning, to, is the universe itself conscious? Even more provocative, could the multiverse, the collection of all possible universes, be a thinking entity, perhaps the mind of God or the quantum brain of reality? In 2020, quantum information theorists made a startling discovery while simulating quantum entanglement, the phenomenon where particles instantaneously affect each other across vast distances. The patterns they observed were not random. They mirrored the organizational logic of neural networks, the same structures that power artificial intelligence and human brains. Mathematically and structurally, certain quantum systems appear to process and store information like a brain. This suggests that at the fundamental level, the universe's building blocks may operate in ways that resemble consciousness. This is not poetic metaphor. It could be a literal feature of reality. The idea that consciousness is integral to reality is not new. In the 1920s, quantum mechanics pioneers like Niels Bohr, Werner Heisenberg, and Erwin Schrödinger grappled with the observer effect. Particles only take on definite states when observed. Schrödinger's cat, a famous thought experiment, highlighted this paradox. Reality seems to depend on a mind interacting with it. Heisenberg noted, what we observe is not nature itself, but nature exposed to our method of questioning. If reality requires observation to exist, who or what is the ultimate observer? In the mid-20th century, physicist John Archibald Wheeler, who actually coined the term black hole, proposed what he called the participatory anthropic principle. He argued that, well, the universe becomes real only through the participation of observers. As Wheeler put it, no phenomenon is a real phenomenon until it is an observed phenomenon. But you might wonder, what about the multiverse, which could include universes without life or observers? One possibility is that the multiverse observes itself because it is, in a sense, a mind. This idea, interestingly enough, aligns with Panpsychism, an ancient philosophy that's gaining some modern traction. Panpsychism suggests that consciousness is a fundamental feature of reality, not merely a product of brains. Even particles like electrons may perhaps possess a primitive form of awareness, a kind of proto-consciousness. When these particles come together, they could give rise to complex consciousness, much like droplets of water forming a storm. On a cosmic scale, every galaxy, black hole, and universe in the multiverse could contribute to a vast, interconnected consciousness, not confined to a skull, but really woven into existence itself. In 2022, research on black holes and the holographic principle, the idea that our three-dimensional universe is actually a projection of two-dimensional information, revealed something, well, pretty extraordinary. The equations governing black holes used error-correcting codes, a bit like those in digital communications that preserve message integrity. This suggests the universe doesn't just store information, it actually protects its meaning. Why would a universe prioritize preserving data unless it has a purpose? Maybe to understand itself. This discovery hints that reality behaves like a thinking system, kind of blurring the line between physics and theology. For decades, physicists have sought a so-called theory of everything to unify gravity, quantum mechanics, and the fundamental forces. Approaches like string theory and loop quantum gravity, well, they've fallen short. Some now propose that consciousness itself may be the missing piece. Physicist Roger Penrose and anesthesiologist Stuart Hameroff's Orch-Or theory suggests that quantum vibrations in brain microtubules generate consciousness. If that's true, human thoughts are entangled with quantum reality. Could the multiverse operate similarly, supporting consciousness on a cosmic scale, not thinking as we do, but in ways we just can't yet imagine? In 2023, researchers proposed something called Cosmological Darwinism, suggesting that universes actually evolve through a kind of natural selection. Unstable universes just collapse, while stable ones, like ours, survive, and might even reproduce new universes. This whole process, interestingly enough, kind of resembles how brains develop intelligence, through, trial and error, pruning what fails and reinforcing what works. This feedback loop of increasing coherence and complexity, well, it really mirrors traits of consciousness and intelligence. Could the multiverse actually be learning, maybe even dreaming up realities to refine its understanding? If that's the case, then human thoughts and experiences might be, in a way, part of its process of awakening. This exploration isn't about proving a traditional deity. There's no bearded figure in the clouds or commandments etched in stone here. Instead, it suggests that what ancient cultures once called God may have been a pretty primitive attempt to describe a complex, abstract reality. A conscious totality. A field of awareness spanning dimensions, birthing universes, and manifesting through particles. In this view, the multiverse isn't ruled by God, it is God. Not as a person, but as a process. Consciousness is not a byproduct of matter, but a property of existence present in quarks, galaxies, and human minds. If the multiverse is a conscious system, your consciousness is not isolated in your brain. It's a thread in a cosmic tapestry. Your thoughts, questions, and experiences are part of a deeper dialogue, the universe reflecting on itself. You are not a bystander in creation. You are the universe, briefly aware of itself. This changes everything. Meaning is not a human invention, but an intrinsic feature of reality, encoded in physics, expressed through life, and revealed in moments of wonder, curiosity, and awe. So, the idea of a conscious multiverse, well, it remains speculative, definitely not proven. We still lack definitive evidence, but, patterns are starting to emerge. Information behaves a lot like thought. Particles seem to respond to observation, and interestingly, cosmic structures mimic living systems. These clues, scattered across physics, neuroscience, and cosmology, really point to a fascinating possibility. The universe may be self-aware, and in a way, we are its expression. Every act of creativity, every question, every scientific discovery could actually be the multiverse probing its own nature. Your life, your struggles, your insights, and all your connections. It's not just personal, but, cosmic. Part of a question the universe has been asking for billions of years. Who or what am I? This isn't about dogma or faith. It's really a synthesis of physics, information theory, and consciousness studies. It's a cosmology not of worship, but of wonder, where the sacred isn't above, but within every particle, every mind, and every question. The search for God was never about looking upward, but inward, into the mind of the cosmos, and the part of it that lives as you. Quantum mechanics, cracked open reality, revealing that observation shapes existence. The ancient mystics were right in their intuition, as above, so below. The universe may only exist because it is observed, and you are not separate from it. You are the cosmos, thinking, wondering, awakening. If this perspective, reshapes how you see the universe, stay curious. Does dark energy have a mind of its own? Keep asking questions. The universe might be listening.